Mic check 1 2 1 2. Welcome back to my monthly series or monthly yearly series on how I'm going to go from zero to $100,000 on a part-time basis on eBay. This is month 3 of me attempting this eBay challenge that I started. Actually started it about 2 or 3 years ago. So we're into year 3. Each year I try to ramp it up. First year we did about 40,000. The next year we did about 75,000. Now we're going to try to hit 100,000 in gross sales on a part-time basis on eBay. And this is my series documenting my sales along the journey. I tell you what I do every month, and then I'll tell you the categories that I'm selling it in, and then I'll give you a recap of the process that I'm using to actually make that happen. Now, March was nothing short of phenomenal to me because we actually improved from February. February, we didn't hit our monthly goal. So for March, we achieved a total number of sales of $6,758.59 with a net profit after fees, because eBay got to take their cut, shipping got to take their cut. We walked away with $4,697, which isn't a bad month in a part-time basis. So to me, that, when I look at the stats, that's a 62% increase from February. And what I pointed out in February, if you watch that video, if you haven't, go back and take a look at it. I'll put it right here on the screen. What I pointed out in February is that this is a marathon, right? This is not like how fast can I get to 100,000, which obviously I would love to get there fast, but I'm pacing myself. And that's why I only do eBay at such a small pace, and it takes up such a small percentage of my day so that it doesn't interrupt with my full-time business. When I set out with this ambitious goal to hit $100,000 on a part-time basis on eBay, I realized that there was a couple things. This wasn't something I just pulled out of my head and said, I'm going to try this and do it right now without having some kind of historical data as to why I would even remotely think this could work. And for the month of March, I sold 100 items with an average selling price of $67, which is a 33.3% increase from February. That's what I need to see, is that increase, because February sucked. I'm trying to win this whole marathon. I ain't got to try to win the race in 1 month. So even though we lost last month, we tried to pick it up in March. So I noticed something else too that happened in March. I didn't sell a lot of toys. And I've said that in the past, that toys is going to probably be one of my top selling categories, but it didn't even make it in the top 5 in March. The top 5 categories for me in March were pottery and glass, specifically vases. Second category was collectibles, military items. The third category that was my top 5 category in the month of March was collectibles, lighting, and lamps. Number 4, pottery and glassware, bowls. I sold a lot of Pyrex in the month of March. My number 5 category for the month of March was collectibles, boxes, jars, and tins. And that was my top 5 categories for the month of March. And although it was shocking to see that there wasn't any toys in my top 5 category, you best believe it's definitely in the top 10. It just didn't make it in the top 5. And the reason why that happened is because I did focus heavily more so on listing some more quality, higher end items for March, because I was trying to make up for February. I had a lot of success last month with Blinko vases. That was one of the top selling categories: pottery, glassware, and vases. And then my next top selling category was actually military items. I ended up picking up a World War II sword, katana sword, and that sold for, a pretty decent amount. So keep your eyes open for Blinko items and keep your eyes open for military items. These are things that I've had really good success selling even, before last month. So those are things that I knew that when I saw them, they were something that I needed to buy to stick on eBay to resell for a profit. Now, let's talk strategy. How am I able to do this on a part-time basis and still be able to function and not let this take over my life? That's the whole thing with my next run on eBay, is that I don't want this taking over my life, because I've been down that road where I couldn't think about anything besides getting up, listing, trying to find stuff, trying to ship items, answering questions. Like, I remember that life, and this is a lot less stressful, and I'm having amazing success in my book based off of the time and effort that I'm actually sticking into it and the return that I'm getting back out of it. So what I do is, a lot of times I pre-select my items. So if you haven't seen my warehouse, I have shelves just everything is in shelves. Everything's on shelves. And then there's one section that's just all full of boxes. And there's one section of furniture. But primarily, there's tons of shelves in here. And everything is separated by like items. But I have separate sections that are just set up for eBay items. I know already if I need to get some eBay items, I can go right to those shelves and pull what I need off of there. So that's number one in my process is I have all this stuff pre-selected. I'm taking the guesswork out of what it is that I gotta list. And when I go there to grab things, I'm not worried about per se what I am listing. I just know that everything on those shelves needs to get listed. Okay. I only sit down at my desk where I'm at right here with my phone and I take pictures and I list eBay items on eBay twice or three times a week. I list and I sit at my desk for 2 to 2.5 hours. In that time period, I'm trying to get listed 10 to 15 items every time I do that. Once a week, I do like to do like what's called a batch listing days where, like that might be like a Sunday where I'll do like 4 hours of listing because I want to get a ton of stuff listed, right? So usually my weeks are like 30 to 40 to 50 items every single week. Or I should say not every single week because I'm not even doing this every week. I'm only doing it 3 weeks out the month because my shop takes up one full week of my month, just organizing it and getting it ready for our monthly events. That's my strategy. It's a 3-week strategy, 2 to 3 times a week, maybe 4, depending on how many you can get done. And literally, you only work 2 hours to 2.5 hours listing the items, but the upfront work is done. That's the sorting so that I know what to list ahead of time. So technically, maybe I should count those hours, but I'm already sorting things and I don't sort or shop with my phone right next to me looking everything up. Like I know what to list. I know what to stick on there. So the sorting process is extremely easy and fast. It's just literally what's in the box. Oh, that should go on eBay. That should go to my store. That should go to live auction. It's no different than what I'm already doing for my business. I just added another platform, which is eBay now, to resell on that platform too. Listing 2 to 3 days a week for 2 to 2.5 hours a day each time. You're trying to get 10 to 15 items listed every time you do that. It's all about efficiency. And one last note for you to know about me is I don't do buy it nows. There was 0 buy it nows last month. 100% auctions. Everything that I list is run through auctions. That works for me. It may not work for you, but that's just what works for me. I like to make sure that these items are going to sell. I like to list with the idea of knowing that, hey, I listed 20 items, 15 of them are guaranteed to sell next week. I'm not listing things hoping and waiting for the buyer to come. I still gotta wait for the buyer to come, but I'm not waiting and saying like, oh, I don't have any sales today or complaining about ups and downs of, the retail world because that's maybe that's the piece that nobody talks about. When I hear people complain on these platforms about they don't have sales, they don't get sales, retail is up and down. That's the nature of retail, whether it's online or in a brick and mortar store, which I have done both and continuously do both. So I'm speaking from experience, and I'm also telling you something that most people won't even talk about because if they don't have the experience, they don't know that retail is up and down. Retail is up and down. So you have to prepare for those things. For myself, I choose not to do buy it nows or store type inventory on eBay because I have a brick and mortar store that if I want a certain amount for things, I put that in my storefront. When I stick stuff on eBay, I'm putting it on there because I know it's going to sell and I want it gone and I want that little change when it's when it's I did see on one of my videos, somebody commented like, yeah, let me tell you what's the net after the gross buy. Like, I ain't no rookie. This is a LLC company that we're running. It does not matter where the sales come from. They can come from eBay, they can come from Etsy, they can come from our store. They all report to one LLC. We take reporting extremely serious. So yes, I track mileage to the person that commented. I track cost of goods. I track what else did you want to I don't know. I track it all. I track everything meticulously and we record everything. And the main things that are very important to me is what did I spend that year, right? Because I'm not tracking a per piece flip. We look at it everything at the end of the year. What did we sell across every platform that we're on? What did we sell out of our store? And then we back out all of our cost of goods, our shipping, the cost of owning our building, the cost of our warehouse. Like these are things that yes, we track. And no, I am not on here preaching or saying that I'm trying to walk away with $100,000 from eBay because I'm not willing to give up that amount of time to reach those kind of numbers, especially when I have a business that allows me to do that with a lot less effort. Recap. I track everything. We're a full-time liquidation company and a vintage store and an online reseller. We're tracking all of this stuff. No need to come on my no need to come onto my post and question my business practices. And I do know the difference between gross and net. I've been doing this 20 years, so please don't insult me, okay, guys? And for those that are interested, my eBay store is Vintage Lounge MKE. You can go there. I'll drop it in the name again in the description. I'll put it on the screen too here for you. You can go there and it's going to fluctuate from, whether there's things on there or not, because I do only run auctions. So you might go there and I might not have nothing listed, or I might have 10 items. Next day, you might see 20. So just know it's going to change. If you want to get an accurate reflection of the kind of things that I have sold on eBay, make sure that you're clicking sold items or completed listings on the side of the screen in the filter section. And then you can see kind of some of the things that I buy and sell to stick on eBay. This is not my first rodeo. This is not at all my first rodeo as a reseller, as an online reseller. We walked away from the platform 10 years ago. So, and at that point we were doing very well, but it just felt too much. It had started to take over my life. And my new approach to eBay is not allowing it to take over my life, using the platform for what it is, not allowing the platform to use me. That's if you can read between the lines, like you don't want to ever become a slave to this platform or to any platform. And that's what reselling can do to you, because the allure of money is very real. And when you start to see results, it becomes extremely addicting. What you have to remember is success with reselling isn't always just about the number. It's about working smart and trying to find a balance in your life. Reselling has afforded me the so many opportunities, but ultimately what it gives me is the freedom to live my life on the terms that I want to live my life on. And that is so priceless that you have to figure out how not to compromise that. That's really what it comes down to. Before I went to this model that I'm working on, and before I opened up my vintage store, and when I was just so focused on heavily being this high six-figure reseller on eBay, I lost the balance. I lost the balance in my life, and I'm not willing to give that up anymore. I said this in my last video. I'm not getting on here to try to impress anybody. I got a family with all girls in my household. I ain't trying to impress nobody on this app. Okay. What I'm trying to do is show a different path of a way that this can be done, and be done extremely well without boohooing and crying every time you pop on a YouTube video. Yes, it is supposed to be hard. It's not easy, but it is absolutely worth it if you're willing to put the effort in into refining your process, continuously learning and flipping, because that's literally how you get from point A to point B is flip it. Stick around, stay tuned. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for more tips and insights. If you're a full-time eBay seller, hopefully some of this stuff helps you. If you're a part-time eBay seller, hopefully some of this stuff helps you. If you ain't even started and you're thinking about your journey, hopefully this helps you. If I've done anything or said anything in this video that's giving you some kind of value, please hit that thumbs up. And like I said, if you haven't already subscribed, happy flipping, and see you on the next one.